Hi friends, welcome to another piano tutorial. My name is Josh and today I'm going to be teaching you the song Liar by Cyrus. This song is pretty easy. There are only 4 chords that you need to learn, but I do like to kind of add into those chords as the song progresses to kind of build up the energy and so it doesn't get boring. Let's start by looking at what we're going to learn today. And there you go. So we're going to be going over everything you just saw there, from being a very beginner, just looking at the basic chords, to then playing some of those more tricky rhythms that we showed at the end of that preview. Anyways, but before we get into the rest of this tutorial, just want to remind you to drop a like if you're getting some value out of this video today, and to leave a comment if you want to suggest a song for me. You can also subscribe if you want to see all of my future videos. All right, so let's get started. So this song is going to be in the key of A flat. And we're actually not going to be starting on our A flat chord. We're actually going to be starting on the 4 chord, which here is going to be D flat. So that's going to be our first chord. We're going to play D flat, A flat, and D flat here in the left hand, with F and A flat here in the right. That's our first chord, D flat. Now for our second chord, we're going to go to an E flat 7 chord. So we'll play E flat, B flat, and E flat in the left hand, and then G, B flat, and then D flat here in the right, D flat being our 7th. And now, after playing that 4 chord, and then the 5 chord, then we get to our 1 chord, which is A flat. So here we play A flat and E flat here in the left hand, and then A flat, C, and E flat in the right. And then we just have one more chord you need to learn, and that chord is right here. This is going to be an F minor chord. So F, C, F in the left hand, and then A flat, C, and F in the right hand. All right, so those are all the chords you need to know. Let's start by playing those in time. I'll say the names as we go. Here we go. So we start here, D flat, E flat 7, A flat, and F minor. So those are the chords that are going to be repeated for the entire song. So if you don't want to add anything else, if you just want to play that, you can, and you can already play along with the whole song. Now there is one other thing I need to teach you actually before you can do that, and that's sometimes we don't play that F minor chord that I showed you at the end. You probably saw that in the intro of the song. So for instance, in the intro, we start like this. By the way, on that intro, you can kind of roll up from the bottom to the top to kind of give it a more unique sound there. So anyways, in the intro, we start with our D flat chord, then go to E flat 7, and now we're going to go to A flat, But then we're just gonna wait here on A flat, and we're not gonna go to that F minor chord, and then we're just gonna go into our first verse now. And here we actually do complete the whole chord progression. Just like that. You also hear that exact same thing happened at the very end of the chorus, where we're not gonna play that F minor chord, where she sings this part. Now I know what you see when you look at me. I will always be a liar. And we kind of just sit there on that A flat chord, as that's the one chord in our key of A flat. It's kind of like our home base, and it kind of feels at rest there. So when we end the chorus, we're just gonna end on that, and it sounds pretty nice. All right, so now let's start to look at some of the things you can add to kind of change up these chords so you're not playing the exact same thing every time, and so it doesn't get boring and stuff. Anyways, so the part I taught you, I like to play that for the intro of the song and for the first verse. Now, once we get to this part where she sings, you asked a question and I lied, I think about it all the time. When we get to there, I like to change the right hand, and instead of just playing these small chords here in the right hand, I like to play much bigger, fuller chords. So for instance, here on the D flat chord, I like to play this whole chord here with F, A flat, D flat, and F here in the right hand. And then on our E flat 7 chord, just like before, but now adding this top G. By the way, sometimes you see me just play like a normal E flat chord. Either one works. Then for our A flat chord, now we're filling again A flat, C, E flat, and A flat, really maximizing our right hand there. And then on our F minor chord, we're just going to change to an F here in the right hand. So those chords just sound a lot more full, and you get a lot more power out of them. So I like to play that during that first chorus. I think about it all the time. I was wrong to think I'm right, playing God with you and I. But the truth always comes out. In the silence it rings loud. When there's smoke, there's a fire. Now I know what you see when you look at me. I will always be a liar. And you see there at the end, that's when we just stay on the A flat chord and we don't go back to the F minor. By the way, you hear two little notes as we transfer from the end of the first chorus into our second verse, and those two notes are just going to be C and A flat. And then we go right to our D flat chord. Now, as we get into the second verse, here I start to like to add a little bit of rhythm. And so that rhythm I like to play here is just going like this. We start here with the F and the D flat, just going back and forth. Then for our E flat chord, we do G and E flat. Now, A flat chord, A flat and E flat. And then finally, A flat and F for our F minor chord. Now, I still like to play those full chords like this, and then add those rhythms in like this. So I kind of like the way that sounds. That's how I like to play it. But if that's too tricky for you, you can just maybe make it simple by just playing that rhythm here in the right hand and then just the chords in the left hand. Just something like that. All right, so now this part that I like to play at the very end of the song, kind of in this last chorus where we have the most energy, I like to play quarter notes here in the right hand, every single quarter note here, and then still play on the offbeats, play this note here in the left hand. And I really like the way that sounds. It sounds very powerful, and that sounds like this. can just kind of end the song nice and easy. And there you go. Anyways, that's pretty much everything you need to know. Let me know down in the comments if you got any questions. I'd be happy to try to answer those for you. Hey everyone, hope you enjoyed that piano tutorial of Lyre by Noah Cyrus. If you did, let me know by leaving a like or a comment, and remember to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.